This is TWiT.
Oops, Google did it again. Google brought Rick Osterloh, formerly of Motorola, in to head the newly defined hardware division in an effort to bolster its own internal hardware offerings a few years back. And we've seen the Pixel phones do reasonably well. Pixelbooks and slates, on the other hand, regularly get called out as being too expensive for what they are, web browsing computers. Note that I actually adore my Pixelbook. I'm not using it right now. I'm using the Slate, which I think is also neat, but I actually really love the Pixelbook. I'm somewhat torn on this anyhow. Business Insider ran a report this week that claimed that Google was letting a number of its employees in that tablet and laptop division go, asking them to search for new jobs within the company, which is often what Google does when they're shuttering things. They just move them somewhere else, move the team to new seats instead of actually canning them outright, which is good. That's great. They get put to work in other places. The problem is that this kind of reduction in staff is going to undoubtedly result in paring down on planned products that they might have in the pipeline to be released. The report even mentions that Google had a, quote, bunch of stuff in the works. So who knows how this is going to affect the release of those products, but it's just like it's hard to know with Google anymore what's safe, because nothing feels safe with Google when it comes to products. And even when it comes to services, you just don't really know whether it's okay to like jump in, invest your money in it, invest your time in it, because it could just go away right before your very eyes. Well,
they're not going to take that from you.
They better not.
What if they're saying that is so perfect they don't need to create another one?
I don't think that's what they're saying.
No, I don't think that's what they're saying either. Does this mean anything for the Pixel? I mean, the Pixel is still doing well, right?
Yeah, based on the report, it doesn't sound like it means anything for the Pixel, and that would be a really surprising thing for them to do an about face on the Pixel. I think that's something that's actually working for them. The Chromebooks, though, the level of the Chromebooks that they're putting out often are way more expensive than the majority of Chromebooks out there. And personally, I think Google's always fighting against that kind of public perception of, oh, well, it's a web browser. Why should I pay more than $200 or $300 for it? Mm-hmm. If anyone really thinks a Chromebook, they often have a hard time considering paying more than $200 to $300 for it, because there's so many of them out there that do that. And I mean, personally, like, I love my Pixelbook. Did I pay for it cash out of hand? No, I didn't. TWiT bought it for me. And if I was paying cash out of hand, if I had to pay more than $1,000 for that device, as much as I love it, I'd still have to, kind of come to terms with that and be like, well, I don't know. Is it worth $1,000 or more? But I do love it, so I'm torn.
And meanwhile, I mean, we compared, we switched devices. You took my iPad, I took your Pixel Slate, and I think that was interesting because, I mean, arguably the Pixel Slate can do a lot more than what the iPad can do, and it's around the same price, but I still prefer the iPad. And I think that there's just not, there's not a huge market of people who say, like, I cannot live without my iPad. Right. But there's still a lot of people buying iPads, just because it's something they want. And they're willing to spend, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800, $900, depending, or up on that. It's sort of a luxury device. And I feel like Apple, for better or for worse, still has that market. So, there's certainly lots of people who like, who like the idea of Android running on a PC-like device, but there's not enough.
Yeah, apparently there's not. And obviously, Google has not made an official public comment on this yet. This was a report of Business Insider. Next week, next Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday the 19th.
Google has an announcement that they're doing at the Game Developers Conference. Actually, Leo and I will be covering that live. I think it starts at 11 a.m. Pacific, if I'm not mistaken. I should have written that down. But anyways, check our calendar, and you can see us kind of covering that live, which is to say that Google often has its new BFF, its new thing that it's really excited about. And with Google, I've just become, over the years, really used to the fact that it's okay with killing its darlings to make room for its next darling, which over time, year after year, Inbox is going away, Allo, Google Plus, those are all being axed this month. And I'm not saying that it's a bad idea for Google to do that. They're a business. They've got to get rid of things that aren't working to make room for things that are. But as a consumer, it makes it, every time it happens, it makes it more and more difficult to rationalize with yourself and say, I'm willing to invest in this because I feel confident that Google is going to stick behind it. At this point, you just don't really know. It's a total crapshoot, and that's hard.
So you're having trust issues with
I'm
Google.
having trust issues with Google.
I see that. I see that.
Google and I are going to have to go into therapy and really work on this. So Google, I hope you're ready.
Well, they have to be a willing partner, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So we skipped over the GDC announcement. That's going to be a Google, like a game console from Google?
That's what everybody's thinking, which could go a number of ways. Like Project Stream is something they've been testing that's turning basically any Chrome browser into a game system by streaming, like Assassin's Creed, what I think was the test example, over the internet. You know, just is basically live game streaming to your display. So really, all you need is a display and a Bluetooth, connection and a piece of hardware to connect a controller to. They could be unveiling an actual console. They could be unveiling a version of the Chromecast that supports this, like maybe like a higher end Chromecast dongle. They could just be saying that, hey, you have a Chromecast. By the way, it has a Bluetooth capability inside of it. Boom, you have a console now. They could go a number of different directions. But yeah, obviously it has something to do with gaming, and that's kind of where the clues are pointing.
Has Google done anything with gaming in the past?
With gaming in the past?
Yeah.
I mean, not
besides
specific.
playing with your heart.
Yeah, that's been a game that's been ongoing for more than 10 years now. No clue who's won yet.
Okay.
We're equal competitors in that regard. I don't think that they've necessarily done anything official like this. You know what I mean? Like they've supported gaming systems. If you remember the Ouya, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. That Android manufacturers, let's say, have come in and had like a game console in mind running on Android. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily what Google is talking about here. I don't even think it has anything to do with Android, but who knows? And I guess we'll find out because it's, just right around the corner. We don't have to wait too long to find out.
Yeah, you're taking the place of iOS Today.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry that you're coming in on Monday to record that show instead of doing it in normal time.
That's okay.
But you can blame Google, just like I do.
Yeah, I will.
Blame Google for everything. That's what I do.
Burke says it starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Thank you, Burke. I appreciate that. 10 a.m. Pacific next Tuesday. We'll be doing live coverage, Leo and I, of that keynote. So there you go. We'll see you then.